So here we are, where I knew we were going to be. I wish I started this pod, stroke, show, stroke, whatever we're going to call this thing. I wish I started it earlier. I said win, lose, or draw. After the Usyk fight, Dubois and Don Charles will be no more. The writing's been on the wall for so long. Have you seen the way that they treat Don Charles? I've never claimed to be a Don Charles fan. In fact, I've often said that I don't really rate him as a trainer. But if we're being honest, he's done a great job with Daniel Dubois. As soon as he took over, his first job, Usyk. What kind of first task is that? They lost. We all knew it was going to happen. All right, cool. You can't really blame him for that loss. Losing to Usyk is not even a loss. It's an unfortunate situation that you're in. He then went on to have some good wins. Big Baby Miller, who I picked him to win, but he wasn't a favourite. Hrgovic, who I picked him to win, but he wasn't a favourite. And Anthony Joshua, who I actually didn't pick him to win, and he wasn't a favourite. 3 massive wins. And let's be honest, the Baby Miller win, all right, Baby Miller wasn't given enough time to prepare. He was only given a few weeks, but he still won. Hrgovic, he had to ride the storm. He had to come through serious situations. And everyone was calling him a quitter for the situations that he previously had, including the one with Joe Joyce, which, if you ask me, isn't a quit. How can you call someone a quitter when their whole eye socket's gone? But you need to quit. Why would you want to continue? I remember I used to be part of a boxing group and I had to leave because we had this conversation about Kell Brook being a quitter when his eye socket went against Golovkin. And I was like, how can you call the guy a quitter? His whole eye socket is gone. And the argument from this guy in the group who has never had a fight in his life, his argument was, you've got to fight through it. We paid our pay-per-view. This is the nonsense that's coming out of people's mouths. Anyway, I digress. He was known for being a quitter, and he put to bed all those thoughts in people's minds when he went through what he went through with Hrgovic. Then Anthony Joshua, he didn't lose a boxing fight. He got beaten up and down the ring differently. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. So now we've got Don Charles, who's taken Daniel Dubois from that to world champion. He's a world champion. He's created a world champion. And every time Don Charles spoke about Daniel Dubois, he spoke about him in the highest regard, with nothing but love and respect and admiration for this kid. And whenever Daniel Dubois spoke about Don Charles, what did you hear? He didn't. If he was ever asked a question about how camp is going, he would say, camp is going great. My dad has put together a great team. When asked specifically about Don Charles and the relationship with Don Charles, he'd speak about his dad. When he's in the corner during a fight and Don Charles is there giving him instructions, he's looking for his dad. The guy doesn't rate Don Charles. Ask him about Don Charles, he talks about his dad. Did you see in the build-up to the Usyk fight where they were all stood together and he just walked out the way and he just barged Don Charles out the way? And the whole time, Don Charles is saying nothing. Now, Don Charles has to do better, but I get it. Don Charles is his coach. He's getting a percentage. Rumor has it he earned somewhere in the land of 50 million for the second Usyk fight. So let's forget all those other fights. Don Charles got around 10% of 50 million. You do the maths. Now, we've all got jobs where people talk to us and we don't like the way they talk to us. Are you doing it for 10% of 50 million? Hey, listen, say what you want to say to me, bruv. What? You don't like me? You don't rate my training? You want to talk about your dad? It's cool. Just give me my 10% of that 50 million plus all the other 10%. Hey, listen, you do what you want to do. You don't want to listen to me? You're taking the licks. Just give me my 10% of my 50 million. I don't blame Don Charles one bit, but they did mug him off. And the writing's been on the wall for so long. And I thought in my head, win, lose or draw, at the end of that fight, they're going to part ways. Remember, when he parted ways with Shane McGuigan, it wasn't because he lost. You know, fighters like to change everything up when they lose. He didn't lose when he changed from Shane McGuigan. It was a shock to everybody. Why are you doing that? But this one wasn't a shock. This one you could see coming. But Don Charles is kept cordial the whole time. Even with the party before the fight, Don Charles weren't happy about that. But Don Charles put on a brave face. He showed unity within the camp and said, hey, listen, there was a party before the AJ fight. Did anyone say anything then when he won? So why are we talking about it now? That's how he prepares. We all know it's wrong. But in fairness, what he said weren't a lie, because the word on the street is that before the AJ fight, there was a party or gathering, and he won, and no one spoke about it. Now it's big news because he lost. But Don Charles has done what Don Charles had to do. Hopefully now people will look at him and say, well, boy, you're more than just Chisora's trainer. You've taken a fighter to the world title. He did it. In the era of Usyk, it's not easy. So hopefully people will look at Don Charles now and say, boom, let's give that guy a chance. He deserves it. He's worked hard. I still don't rate him that highly, but he's worked hard and he deserves it. But hopefully the whole camp will simmer down now. Don Charles' son, squaring up and trying to beef with the Usyk camp. Bruv, what are you doing? Relax. Usyk has punched up all the big boys in the heavyweight division. Twice. Tyson Fury twice. AJ twice. Dubois twice. And this guy's coming running up his gums. So the update is that they've now are looking to a new trainer. They haven't announced it. We all know who it's going to be. I'm not going to say till they probably announce it, but you would have heard by now. And they've also got Sam Jones in as an advisor, not the manager, as an advisor. When he was announced as a manager, I was thinking, Dubois' dad has hired a manager? That can't be right. So no, he's not a manager. He's an advisor. And it's only the advice that Mr. Dubois was. You can see it happening. Sam's talking to Daniel. Daniel, this is what I think you should do. Nope. Okay. We should do it the other way then. It is what it is. The advice that is going to be delivered to Daniel Dubois is the advice that Daniel Dubois' dad wants to be delivered to Daniel Dubois. He's in charge. It looks like he's got mind control over Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois can't do nothing without dad. Caroline Dubois' jumped ship. She left. She's gone. She's out of it. You don't see Caroline Dubois with the rest of the Dubois. She's separated herself, and there's a reason for it. And she's not said, and I hope she does, but my suspicion is something to do with dad. Dad is the problem in that camp. And until dad is out of that camp or takes a step or 2 or 10 back, there's always going to be problems in that camp. Spencer Fearon said something not so long ago, and the comments had to be retracted and videos had to be taken down from the net. I think he took it a bit too far. He said something about juju.
His father deals with black magic. I'm saying it. I don't care. Yes, I've said it.
How do you know that?
Well, because I know. Daniel's father, he was working judge. And that's that.
I don't know if there's juju going on in that household. I think juju is taking it a bit far. But something's not right. Something smells off. And I think it's Stan Dubois.